amazing that we can just like get together like this.
That's so cool.
Oh my gosh.
I've never
Cool.
used Zoom before. I've only seen like the funny videos on like Facebook where people like accidentally go to the bathroom and don't know that that's happening.
Oh my god.
What's going on today, you guys? How's the day going?
First coffee in like a week.
Ooh.
First coffee? That's like the biggest coffee I've ever seen.
It's got butter in it and MCT coconut oil. So it's like
oh my god.
Yeah, it's a full of fats, which is how I like my coffee.
Okay. I see. Have you like just recently gotten coffee for the first time in a week? Is that why it's been a week, or are you just a one a week type of human?
I'm a one a week type of human these days. Coffee and I have a very, my body will be very quick to reject coffee and have withdrawal symptoms if I have like repeated amounts.
I hear you.
Yeah, so I just got to be very cautious, and I have one and it makes it extra special. I have it when it's real right, and the smell is just so good. So,
wow. Well, thanks for sharing your coffee time with us.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Oh my god! Did you guys meet at the same party that I met?
Mm-hmm.
Maya? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
It was a good party.
That was such a good party.
Oh my gosh! How are you guys? What's up?
Oh my god! I'm just trying to survive.
Aren't we all?
Full survival mode, full root activation experience.
It's pretty amazing, to be honest. Like it's really like grounded me out and just made me realize what's important. Sorry,
what's important?
Yeah.
Sure. What is important? I just think like the small things, like literally like getting up in the morning, going for a walk, or cooking, or sorry, I just gotta shut off my phone here.
Kitty.
You get my shot? Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the small things like cooking and cleaning and the small conversations that in normal life, that's somewhat funny as saying that we just like kind of gloss over. Like we don't necessarily like aren't conscious of them in a way because we're always busy. We're always thinking of doing the next thing, going to the next event. It's like, wow, it's like I feel like I've really slowed down.
Yeah.
I feel like we're on the brink of a huge like collective awakening to the thing that you are talking about, Andrew, like how we've all taken each other for granted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it's going to be really good stuff when we come out of this and just like realize that what matters is the connection to other humans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope so. I hope people can like kind of look within and take time to see that, yeah, like that's kind of been lacking in our world, and it's it's definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I found that I've been like surrounding myself with more people that can like stop in the moment and be really present. And so it's a weird time for me because like I've gathered a lot of those folks around, and then now I feel so separated from them. Like for you and Maya, for example, like you're two examples of people that can just like stop in the moment and be like, this is really cool. This is what's happening. And like, I see you, but then I don't know, it feels like almost not as genuine talking with text, but video. I feel it. I feel the connection again, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's so important right now too, right? It's like if we're supposed to be away from people, like we need this like face-to-face connection, seeing other people, knowing other people are going through similar experiences.
Totally.
It's kind of lost with if you're just texting people.
Totally.
So.
I actually heard about this study that hearing like someone's voice gives you the same rush of hormones as if you're hugging that person.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've always been a phone gal.
That's
that explains it. I've never been a texter. I've always been a call me.
Oh my God.
I prefer a call.
I love that. I love the accent that goes along with it too.
Thank
I
you.
love that persona.
She comes out. She's like, if I can't have touch, you better call. You're serious.
You're like the cool cousin from New Jersey.
Thank you. I pride myself in being cool. What would I have without it?
I don't know. What would you have without it?
You know what? My bare ass soul.
That's so cool, though.
It is so cool. It's definitely been the slowing down bit is like a real thing, like on an internal level even. So like when all the external has like no access anymore, like I still, like on the first like 5 days of quarantine, I still found like the brain was still spinning at that velocity. So like experiencing the process of like being aware that I was still spinning, because when you're in like the systematic spin, you don't notice that you're spinning on the internal because you're just matching what's happening on the external most of the time, at least for me. So when the external like was like a forcible halt, I was finally like aware for the first time that I was like spinning on the internal. So that was like really interesting. I did like an oracle card reading, and there's this one fairy that came out, and he's like this gnome, and his name is Geo the Slow. And he is like specifically about the intrinsic, like his energy is what keeps like the earth in balance, in perfect equilibrium with the sun. And like it is the same idea of water eroding at the ground and the earth. Like it's a slow process of nature for things to erode or grow or build, and tuning into that has been a challenge, but also very exciting to have that experience happen, and like slowly tapping into that.
I like how you say that. It's sorry, Jen.
I just said she's got to go with Geo the Slow.
Geo the Slow.
You want to see him?
Yeah.
I like how you brought up that it's like how the shift was kind of hard to like realize, I guess, how we were going so fast, and then it was like boom, stop. And it's like, yeah, you realize that you literally, your internal was running just as fast as the external. And it took probably like a week for myself personally to just like come to terms with like the change of life and the change of like speeds, I guess, because we're all, like you said, we're always rushing around doing things, and it's like whew, it's like the body didn't want to. The body was fighting it. It was like, oh my God, like, what's happening? Oh my God. Like, your body like freaks out.
Geo is a mood.
He's a mood.
Schmood.
He's happy about it, but he's like quiet about it. Yeah, like the velocity of like your internal just like literally slowing down in the brain. And I'm like fiending for stimulus the first few days. I was like, how can I get more stimulus? And like, because you still have the internet. Like we all still have the internet, which like makes this possible. Bless that.
Yes.
But it's also like it's an accountability thing now with like how much stimulus am I seeking out, as opposed to like resting or doing what I'm like creating, or actually being in a state of not like
What have you guys been creating? What have you guys been working on?
Maya, you take this one and then I'll share.
I'm taking this one? Okay.
I'll still share, I promise.
Okay, good. I was like, I'm interested in what you had to say. So I was like, I have been I've been learning the language right now of Ableton, the music program for recording and producing music. So right now I've been like, I was blessed to have a friend, Tyson Moore, also known as Metastate. Yes. He just released his new music. Hell yeah. He like dropped off a bunch of like equipment he wasn't using. So I've got a little home studio set up right now, and so I've just kind of been like banging my head against the keyboard and allowing like myself to try to get that going. And then I'm always writing. I like writing is like a natural form, like poetry and rhymes and raps, and so I've been up in that quite a bit.
Good shit.
Beautiful. How about you, Jen?
Cool. I have been writing quite a bit of poetry, which has been fun. And then also a good friend of mine moved in at the beginning of March, and we've like had these funny quotes that have come up in our time together. And so like I've written them out in calligraphy and like posted them up around our house.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's been very fun. One of which being one of them's by my door, and it's schmood.
What is schmood? You've already dropped that when you met Geo. Yeah. But what is schmood?
Schmood is something you feel. It's like a level up from a mood, and it's like, I know that I'm a schmood, you're a schmood. Just like, damn, no one's asked me that.
I've never heard this term.
It's okay. I just created it a couple weeks ago.
Which is
Okay.
good. How Shakespearean of you.
So like the house party that we all like connected at, that's a schmood. That whole event was a schmood because it was just so cool, and like so many people vibrating at like higher frequencies, and like the ability to connect, I feel, is a big schmood in a genuine way.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like schmood.
Yeah. And then another one is big oof.
Big oof.
Yeah.
I get that one. You don't need to explain that.
Yeah.
I like how you
know
came back into the frame, Maya, with your teddy bear, and it had like the glasses on it. Made me laugh so much. It was like it switched to Jen, and then it switched to you, and he was like dressed out.
It's just it's a schmood.
It is a schmood. It is very much so a schmood.
I have a question for Maya. Maya, what makes you, or how do you use oracle cards? I've never understood these things. I've never understood why people use them, what kind of practice they use them. I kind of understand them, but I'm curious in your experience and what you use them for and what benefit you find in using them.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I love this question. All right, so let's see. So oracle cards are intrinsically like, so there's tarot cards and there's oracle cards.
Mm-hmm.
Tarot cards follow a certain pattern, and it's something that it's like a language to learn, like specific archetypes that will show up. And oracle cards, which is what I mostly dabble in, are like each deck is a specific group of beings or energy that you can tap into. So for example, I have a animal totem deck, I have a fairy deck, I have a angel deck, I have galactic frequencies deck. So I can like pick and choose where I want to get my messages from, what sort of energy, whether earthly or galactic, do I want to like tap into. So it's kind of like,
what do you mean tap into? I'm curious. Like, is it like you're getting a feeling from these cards based on their symbols and what they're portraying? Is that kind of, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like picking a flavor of ice cream.
Okay.
if you want to put it that way, which I do. So like the way I use it is like, it's a very like, I just look on the shelf and I'll know. It's an inner knowing. So it's a certain amount of like I'm drawn to this one, I'm drawn to this one, like magnets, because I kind of like live my life according to magnetic push or pull. So nothing is good or bad to me. It is just repulsion or attraction. Repulsion has a negative connotation, but truly it's just a force of physics. So I kind of experience that when I'm picking whatever deck off my shelf. And then what I use them for is, so I'll start with an intention. And I'll go, it is my intention to be a humble and clear channel for divine messages and love to come through for my best and highest good. And then whatever will come out will come out. Now I followed pretty intuitively. So like, let's say a symbol shows up, it's like a specific plant or a specific animal. And you can like look as different cards are laid out, how they work together. Like if like they fall out and for some reason I place them in a triangle, I know that the ones on the bottom are kind of like the energies that will help create a foundation for the card on the top of the pyramid or the triangle. Or if somehow I lay it out in a circle, I know that there's a certain cohesive process to follow. Like if I'm following like a medicine wheel, I start at the east, so I go to the north and kind of can experience whether these are linear lessons or this is what's happening right now, if it flips upside down, or just like certain things I'll just like intuitively like check in. And lots of the time I'll get a card and it will be, I'll have seen that animal that day. Or I will have had this color in my mind or this song, and there'll be certain keywords and certain symbols that will show up that will reinforce synchronicity. I oftentimes use oracle cards to reinforce synchronistic events in my day-to-day life, to kind of reinforce that they're basically my perception and belief that I've ingrained in me that there is magic and that there is reason and a certain weaving of the tapestry of creation. The oracle cards are physical. You can see it in your hand. You can see it in front of your face. Physical kind of like proof almost or evidence from the universe or from my own being that magic is existing or that there are certain patterns unfolding in my life right now. And just advice. I go for them for advice. Like sometimes I'll get a card and it'll be like literally slow down. And I'll realize in that moment that I was not slowing down and like certain things like that. So advice.
It's almost like a reminder, and all these cards have little messages, and it's like kind of pointing you in different directions and making you kind of realize life. Yeah. In a more broader sense.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I love them. I do. Actually, I'm about to start offering them for free for people over videos. So this is. So that's a thing. I just realized it's time to let that happen because I've done. I used to do I did Fringe Festival and I did different I like being in public, especially when I don't know the people because that's when the magic happens.
Me too.
Because you can't know, and so me and this person are sitting across from each other, never met, and a card will pop out and it'll be like, what the fuck? Like, you don't know me, but I saw this animal this morning, and I'm like, that's the magic. Yeah. Follow your path. So that's exciting. So I'll be offering that.
Congratulations. That's an exciting endeavor.
Thank you.
Sharing your magic.
I love doing it.
I think this is a good time to take those kind of steps forward. If you were ever kind of scared of doing something, now is for some reason now it feels like you can just do anything. It doesn't matter. At least I get that feeling.
Pretty much. I'm going to cut my bangs later.
Are you?
Yeah, I plan to.
Oh my God.
What'd you say, Jen?
I'm going to cut my bangs later.
Oh my God, I was going to shave my head.
Really?
Yeah. Well, you can't get a haircut. Me is shave my head, right?
What?
I've actually heard it's very liberating to kind of shave your head. I always have a friend, he's always like, oh, it's the most spiritual thing you can do. I'm like, interesting. Because it's just usually we're so attached. We're so attached to an image of ourselves with a certain hairstyle, and by kind of getting rid of that,
we both touch our hair,
breaking that. You're like, I don't want
to. They hold your memories and your experiences.
It's powerful.
So when you have a fucking breakup, there's a reason why people cut their fucking hair after, or a reason why people bleach their hair. It's to let go of those memories or to lighten up those memories.
There's a line in the Maggie Rogers song, and it's "Cut my hair so I can swing back and forth without thinking of you."
Whoa.
Yeah, that just spoke to me.
Nice.
That's deep.
Makes me sad, girl. That makes me sad, girl, real hard. I feel melancholic in the most beautiful way. My favorite feeling. That's waxing poetic.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So I have a really cool thing I want to do with you guys here. I got a bunch of screens. So we can discuss these. I just kind of went and screenshotted things. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Yeah, this looks like it's been from my story.
It does. It does.
To be honest, Jen, I did screenshot a few things from your story, so I hope you're okay with me sharing.
I have two.
Of course.
It's because that's kind of why I wanted to do this chat, because I was like, wow, Jen has always been that person to share cool things and get me thinking outside the box. So anyway, so I thought this self-care menu, people need to do this shit. If this is 2.5 hours a day, if you can do this thing every day, I feel like you're living life way better than if you don't do these things.
Yeah.
Very fair.
Yeah, I feel that. This is a very healthy list.
What would you guys add to this list? But what kind of things do you guys do? What kind of things what keeps you going in a day, that grounds you out, keeps you excited, keeps you moving?
Well, on that note, actually, when you guys were talking before about slowing down and how we've been forced to, my coping mechanism for a lot of the things that I've gone through in my life has been to stay busy and to always go to the next thing, talk to the next person, do this task, or consume things on the internet that make me numb almost,
Right.
so that I don't have to adjust.
Distractions.
Exactly. So like I purposefully go out of my way to avoid those feelings. And so I feel like one of the self-care things on my menu has been to purposefully sit and like feel whatever I need to feel. And as challenging and like eye-opening as it is, it's been like the utmost form of self-care for me recently.
That's beautiful. I love
like
that.
I had a big old grief bomb the other day. And instead of like, I was so drawn. I'm like, I just want to like watch Friends, because Friends is like my comfort. I just want to like mind out and just like watch, because I've watched it like hundreds of times, guaranteed. But I'm like, you know what? This feeling's coming up. I think it's important to just like let it out, let myself feel without judgment. And then I actually like meditated on it after, and I'm like, I am all seeing. I am leveled up, and I felt so good about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like all the time, anytime we have like an emotion or something coming up, it's like it always has a lesson. It always has a teaching. It's just like half the time we just don't want to sit with it. Half the time we just don't want to sit with it, to let it kind of work its way through. You know, it's just like, I'd rather not look at that right now, you know?
Exactly.
Wow. Oh, emotions, emotional self-care. That is what you would add to that fucking list. That's what that feels like.
Yeah.
That is a very fantastic thing to have been brought up, and I feel that really hard. Like, I think right now, I think I go through lots of like highs and lows, like right now, and like finding like acceptance of moving through gunky frequency and gunky density, because like there'll be some days where I'm like, I'm vibing so high, I'm tuned in I'm tuned in with the frequency of God, man. I am God.
Dude, that's schmood.
That's schmood. Okay, so I'm schmood.
But you can't have that without the opposite, I guess, right?
Yeah, so experiencing the dual force, where it's like, you know, and it's always like trying to learn how to get better at instead of needing an external trigger to experience emotion. So like the milk spilling, or like I'm very frustrated because my program crashed when I'm trying to make music, and then that ends up putting me into like a spiral that is not about that. It's about, what am I doing with my life? I'm turning this age tomorrow, or like these sort of things, or feeling the collective, and feeling like also like that I'm making a choice to be in this state. Like I can see that I'm like, I know that this isn't true about my life, but I want to say it anyway. I want to express this.
I want to feel the pain.
I want to be a wiener, and it's okay to be a wiener, and I'm going to sit in it, and tomorrow it will not be the case. So I resonate with that like pretty hard. Or like, I really think that's so cool that you like meditated and sat in it after.
It has been a journey.
Oh, whoa.
I shared this shit.
Cool.
I tend to stay away from mourning and dancing. Too afraid to cry, too shy to dance. We become narrow-minded complainers, avoiding pain and also true human joy. When we live in a world subject to the evil one, we belong to God. Let us mourn and let us dance. I don't know about that last part. When we live in a world subject to the evil one, we belong to God. That's
saying like we don't belong to ourselves, I think.
Let us mourn, let us dance. I think to me, that speaks like experience everything, experience the highs, experience the lows, dance, cry, sing. Like, I mean, I feel like our culture is so predominantly like, we don't show like those low emotions, and we just like all of society is just like hide that shit. Oh, you broke up with someone, you got a job, like that person died, like get over it, move on. Like, it's like, no, it's like,
it's part of the spin.
Yeah, I feel like if you let it process and let it teach you something, it's powerful.
I feel like even with a Let It Dance, like society teaches us that like, I don't know, like don't dance in public. Like that's weird. That's considered off-putting. And like I was walking down the street yesterday and I was jamming, like I was listening to such good tunes, and I'm like, I just want to dance, but I feel like a block. And I know that it's like shyness or like fear of what people will think. And it's like, I just want to dance down the street in the sunshine. And I'm challenging myself this week to like break through that wall and do it anyways.
And that's the most liberating feeling, I feel.
Yeah, but it's been a weird mental block because like I've been on such a wave of just like, I don't give a fuck like what anyone thinks about like, you know, and then there's moments like that and it's like, I'm still there. I'm definitely still there.
Yeah, you don't know until you're around the people. You don't, like, it's so easy to like be like change yourself or change your mind or perspective when you're in your own home and aren't dealing with other humans. It's very easy to be like, I've handled this. I've processed this. I'm confident, and those things like are probably true. But once you're actually in the scenario where you've got another human in front of you and you're presented with an opportunity to put stuff into practice, that's when shit really gets going. That's when you're presented with a choice, and choice is where it's all at. And each time it's like, if you don't make the choice that you wanted to make, there's always going to be another opportunity to do that. Like we just keep getting opportunities for transcendence.
That's an important
left and right.
It's consistent, isn't it? There's like millions of choices a day that we come to face with. Should I say this? Should I be authentic? Should I, reach out? Should I, because I feel like we always have these things come up and we want to do them, but there's like, I don't know what it is. There's something that holds us back, whether it's that fear of like looking like a fool or something, or I don't know, just like our conditioning that we've grown up with, where we've been in social situations and we've wanted to fit in with everyone else and, be accepted and just be loved. But I feel like if we want to be loved and we want to be like
truly
accepted of ourselves, so we have to let that come out, let that dancing in the street, singing in the streets, whatever it may be for you. It could be like smiling, waving, like everyone has their own little thing, I think.
Yeah. Like an example of one of those for me was like when I did the hip hip hooray at the end of the concert. That was like a big, like authentic self thing.
Good for you.
Which was awesome. Yeah, it was good
What
shit.
happened? What concert?
At the house party. After their set, I did like a 3 cheers for the host.
Oh yeah, and it was so nice.
Yeah.
Like little things like that of breaking through the gelatinous mold that is social construct.
Yeah. Totally.
Social construct, because people get triggered. There's always going to be a bunch of people that are going to get triggered by you breaking down whatever weird construct there is. It's very interesting. Like I've kind of like set a precedent where if you want to roll with me, people around us are going to get triggered. Like people around us are going to look and be like, and they're going to have a feeling, and there might be a trigger of like, oh yeah, like I'm going to go live my life. Or it might be a trigger of like, I feel very uncomfortable around this person because they sang in the sing-along part of a concert. And I don't feel comfortable doing that. So now I'm going to feel weird. And if you're rolling with me, you just got to like, you just piss or get off the pot sort of vibe.
Yeah.
But I think all of us are very aware of that line or that wall of what is the unwritten rule of what is being socially appropriate. We can all sense that energy and that feeling, and it can be like, it's kind of like stage fright almost.
Yeah,
right.
That's exactly it.
It's like stage fright, and like it always feels like there's adrenaline that comes with it, and then you get perspective and you're like, fuck, like I'm gonna be dead in this many years, like does this fucking matter? Does this fake ass rule that has my heart pumping real hard, is this gonna matter when I'm dead? No.
Yeah, that puts my stomach in a knot, and so you know those days where you live like authentically, it's like you go to bed at night and you are like, wow, like life is amazing, because you weren't filtering it. You weren't restricting it. You were just living it.
I want more of those days, man.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's me. When I'm running outside, I'm screaming. I'm like, woo! Alive! Like, this is like, people are just like, this guy's losing his mind. Like, lock him up. I'm like, no, I'm alive. Like,
don't you see?
Don't you see? Yeah.
There's a lot of this going around. I really like this. Whoa.
This is a piece of art that connects to the "Do you see" line.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm seeing some constellations. in those pupils.
And it was just right there, so I felt like I needed to share.
Guys, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break because with this thing I can only do 40-minute sessions, but I want to keep going. But if you guys want to grab like a water and coffee, tea, I'll call you guys back in 5, okay?
Okay,
this has been really good. I'm having a lot of time with this. You guys are fucking awesome to talk to.
We are.
Fun.
But we'll chat soon. We'll be back.
Okay, in 5.
In 5. Hey, you're back.
I'm back.
You look even more fancy now.
Business, darling.
Business, darling.
Business. Look, I got rainbow.
Rainbow what? Whoa.
Rainbow.
Damn.
Got a rainbow refractor. That's how I can tell whether the sun is shooting off rainbow codes of light, which it is today.
Isn't it always?
Actually, some days are more than others.
Mm-hmm.
But usually it is. We've
true.
been blessed. The past 2 days, no. The past 2, well, no. Like, there was that stint of, like, really cloudy, really gray, and, like...
I was so moody those days.
Me too, and so was everybody else that I talked to. Like, it was a collective experience. Like, it was just, like, a gunky vibe.
It's a good way of putting it, eh?
Hey!
Crazy. Oh, is Jen here?
Back. Hey. Yeah, she is.
Oh, hey, Jen. We're all back.
Here I am.
You guys freshen up.
Yeah.
Get another drink. I got a fresh tea. It's kind of like in the wrong mug, though. Just feel like
Is
No,
there
it's
ever a
perfect.
mug?
Father Christmas forever. I wear snowman socks all year round.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you have them on right now?
No, they're really dirty.
Okay.
Like everything. I am right now. I have everything dirty.
Well, I'm
I don't
glad
know
you
why
guys
fire.
still want to do this. This is good.
This is so good for my soul.
I'm really enjoying this. Oh, I came out of the room here to fill up my tea. I had like a pep in my step. I was just like feeling so good. I was just like, oh, we often forget how just expressing and connecting is just so important.
Absolutely.
Um,
Up next.
What's up next? Whoops. Let's see. When you complain, you make yourself a victim. Leave the situation, change the situation, or accept it. All else is madness.
Oof.
That's a harsh light coming through your window in the morning, brother.
What?
the harsh light of truth.
Well, that's the truth, eh? It's like when you think of your own experience and how much time we spend complaining and not accepting the situation as it is, just wanting it a little bit different, a little bit more personalized. Oh, I want 10% less clouds in the sky. I'm going to be miserable. Like,
Yeah, I feel that. I get that a lot in large social settings.
why's that?
I like to think of myself as a curator of what is good and groovy. And oftentimes that comes with a judgment based on a preference of what is good and groovy, and that sometimes translates to other people at a party. If someone is in like just beyond toasted and drunk and is just like belligerently moving around, I have a hard time being in that frequency, and I'm just like, this party is shitty and I don't belong here and I need that person kicked out right now. Like, the vibe must be maintained. Kick this person out of this party.
I feel that in my core.
Yes.
In my bones.
So I feel that a lot when I'm like out in large settings and trying to like still maintain my own, like, I can leave, I can like, I gotta change my response, like just like not sitting there being like miffed about this one part of this party when in fact I could be tuning into my best friend beside me, or the really, really amazing band that's going on, or all the myriad of other things that I could tune into, the leaf on the ground, like literally anything except the one thing that I'm focused on that is like the needle in my idealized perfection.
I think the problem is that we're like we're really outsourcing these things. Like we're trying to like, oh, we don't like this, so like we're like, oh, I don't like this person or something, or it's like, you know, we're kind of outsourcing our own annoyance into the world, I find.
Yeah, it's like,
which can be a problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I feel like I try my best nowadays to like tune into the fact that like it's a weird topic because my brain can always create a dialectic about this. It can always find the opposite side of like, but how about this? Like, do you really believe that? Because I'm going to flip this around on you. But the idea that there is no good and bad, there's beneficial and detrimental based like to you in that experience. And you can just like only make choices. There is no control.
Right. And what might be detrimental to you might be beneficial for someone else in that situation.
Yeah, so it's my job to just do what I need to do to keep that scenario. And then you have like the thought process of like, what if someone is beating someone up right in front of you? Or what if, like, when do you stand up for a situation and engage with the external? And when do you realize that this is something that I think it's discernment. When do you realize that it's an internal thing to change around?
I think you intuitively will know. I mean,
yeah.
And sometimes you'll make mistakes, but that's all part of it too. So
trying our best.
Trying our best, yeah. Cool. Jen, any thoughts? Next one. I love that.
I feel triggered by that quote.
I know.
Yeah.
I realized when I said that I should have just let you come in it.
No.
No.
What do you think about it?
When you complain, you make yourself a victim. Leave the situation, change the situation. I'll accept it. I'm triggered now. Being put on the spot's a tough thing. Like, it's like someone's like asks you, like, I'll say something if I want to. Like,
okay. Fair enough.
Dude, seriously though. When you're talking to someone and they're complaining, sorry, I'm cutting you off. When you're talking, whatever. Actually, I'm not apologizing. Fuck it. I'm going. When you, it's very funny. Me and like certain people that I have are like, we'll be on the phone and like we have a certain like relationship where like I'll be whining and that person will just. We do this with each other now. We go like, you're in perfect control and have full power of this. You know that, right? I'll be like, oh yeah, like this and that, or this and that, and this is happening, and they'll be like, you realize that like you're complaining now. You can do something about this. Just be fully aware that. And sometimes we'll go with each other and we'll be like, yeah, I'm fully aware that I could do something about this situation, and I'm understanding that I'm choosing to just complain and be a stinker about this right now. And we do that with each other. So like good. We'll go. So like having that awareness and that layer of even like, okay, I know that have sovereignty and power in this. And I know that I'm just whining and I could do something. And I'm just going to sit in that for a second. Thank you very much. And then
let it go.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Next one. Oh, it's coming. Just give me a sec. It's technical difficulties. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers.
I feel like this goes back to the sitting with your feelings and like not drowning them out with busyness or mind-numbing things.
Mm-hmm.
Because
listening.
When you listen and when there's silence, it speaks volumes if you can really listen. That's what I gather from that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm just looking
I find our minds try to always find the answer, like a logical answer, but it's just like half the time it's like it's just you have to relax with it and stop trying to get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my brain immediately went to that guy toppling off that fucking canoe. I'm like picturing like
in the picture,
the visual in the picture. He's like sitting on the front of a canoe, and it's like the stillest water ever. It's like a monk or something, just in that stillness. And I'm imagining me having like thoughts about like just being on spin cycle in my brain, and then eventually just like falling off the canoe and like laughing and splashing around.
I think the picture should be of the guy sitting there, but the sea should be like tsunami waves, because that would be more like until like that's how people start. That's how that's how when you meditate it starts, isn't it? It's like things are going on, and relax your body, look into things, and fine, things will settle.
Mm-hmm. But even if they don't, like even if the water on the top is wavy, deep below, it can be still.
Should be. I like that.
That's how I found my meditation's been going recently.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a big thing. It's like, have compassion. If your brain is busy, like notice this with compassion. It's like, I don't want to.
Compassion.
Yeah.
That's a groovy word.
Well, that's the thing. It's like if you resist the resistance, like you're just trapped.
You're in the cycle.
Yeah.
Spin cycle.
Yeah.
I really like these things. I like how they engage conversation and get us thinking in different ways. We should have like parties like this in the future. Post COVID, we could just like go to people's houses, have a projector screen, and talk. And like,
okay, well, I have a teacher tip here. This is actually like a teaching method where you like can print things off. So like we can print off all these cool quotes, post them around the room, and then you go to the one that speaks the most to you, and then there'll be like a group of folks to gather, and then you can discuss it.
My goal is not to be better than anyone else, but to be better than I used to be.
Oh, this is
perfect.
Perfectionism. This is combating perfectionism and comparison at its finest.
This is another target for me.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, oh man, I spend so much time comparing, contrasting. Am I as good as this? Am I like even just with our physical appearance, but then like our economic status,
creative stuff,
relationship things. You know, like we'll compare relationships. Like, well, he has a quote unquote better girlfriend, or she has a better boyfriend, quote unquote. You know, like,
or they seem so happy. Why don't I feel that way?
Social media is a big thing with that, like Instagram. Because people just present, like, it's something to always keep in mind. People are presenting, and so are you, the best of what it's curated. It's curated art. It's a curated media form. It is not a 100% glimpse at what that fucking person is going through on the daily. It does not show the icky, gunky shit that they had to do, or the 5,000 takes that they did of that picture, or the editing that they did on that picture, or the specially curated art that they put together to show to you. It's a showcase. It's a showcase, and there's nothing wrong with showcasing your creativity, your art, your beauty, the things that you have to offer. That's what that platform is for. But it is not like, I think the brain automatically goes like, oh, that's what that person's doing with their day all day, every day, and I'm not.
Or even worse, like, look, everyone around me is happy and I'm not. Everyone is happy and doing things and I am just miserable. Like, because I feel like that our brain, again, can trick us into thinking that, because we're seeing all these images, we're not seeing the background, we're not seeing the struggle, the people, and the suffering, and we kind of forget that everyone else struggles and suffers and goes through pain.
And is pooping.
Yeah.
Everybody's wiping their ass, and so are you.
Yeah. Some people have bidets.
Oh, I wish.
Jen,
I
wish. We have one in my bathroom. It's just in a box, though. It's not set up.
What?
Set it up.
It's perfect time.
It's not mine, but
make it happen anyways.
Another man's bidet.
I'll send a request in. Perhaps. This is the story behind this. I remember at the house party that we all connected at. I remember Jen. I just came back from a trip, and Jen showed me this, and I like had tears in my eyes. This is so beautiful. I'm gonna read it. Perhaps we only leave so we may once again arrive, to get a bird's eye view of what it means to be alive. For there is beauty in returning. Oh, how wonderful, how strange, to see that everything is different, but no, it's only you who's changed.
That gives me shivers.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, so good.
Poems are good. They stir emotion.
Yeah,
they do.
Oh God, I would love to hear some of your poetry.
Funny you say that. I brought my little book beside me in case you asked.
A poetry reading session. Here we go. Awesome.
Eating rainbows.
Yeah, how do you get those rainbows in your home?
I have a prism.
Where can you find those?
I got this for my birthday, but you can find them on any online store. Just type in prisms, rainbow refractor, light refractors, or prisms. It is how I keep sane in the quarantine. I stick my body under rainbows. If you're wondering what Maya's doing, she's crying, or she's sticking her body parts underneath rainbows in her house.
A rainbow, like a prism, would be so good right there.
It would. You got so much light coming through. Refract those beams.
I should.
Woo. Anyway, poetry.
All right.
Dun, 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 dun.
These are two that like are on the same wavelength, but here's the first one. That whoosh of unexpected gratitude for what I have is what I get to choose for myself from this day forward. And then, overwhelming gratitude for Saturdays, consisting of the stories I want to tell for the rest of my days.
What are the stories you want to tell?
Well, one of them was the house party, for sure. I was on such a good roll of like incredible weekends and just like going to things by myself and meeting really cool people and just like being my very authentic self. And then this all happened, which is fine. I'm getting to work on myself some more.
In different ways.
Yes. And then there's this one. Bless the laughter stemming from a flower and a sun flirting their time away.
Can you repeat that?
Yes. Bless the laughter stemming from a flower and a sun flirting their time away.
Oh,
I love that.
so sweet. It's like, it's interesting. Like, thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
When you mentioned like those like weekends of like meeting up and hooking up with people, there was like a ton of like social synchronicity. I know exactly what you're talking about. Those weekends, like there was like a compact pile where we were networking and meeting up with people that we were supposed to meet with to set ourselves up for this situation. We were being set up so that we have people to connect with during this time. Like,
Maya, you beautiful soul, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
You are exactly right. Because here we are, like, honestly, without the house party, like, this wouldn't happen.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
And like, so like, there's the house party, and then there was the death on the balcony party, which was also like very wonderful, which is so good.
Oh man,
my last outing.
Me too. That was my official last outing, but it was so good.
It was
the best.
Yeah.
It was the best. I was like, oh, of course we're going out on this note. This is great.
Yeah, I was so proud because like I was sober that whole time.
Wow. I like that.
Living my best life.
I like that a lot. My mantra was, I'm on the highest timeline. Every time there was a lower density frequency, I went, I am on the highest timeline. I am on the highest timeline. And just like felt myself like pushing and pulling and emulsifying the different timelines.
Andrew, there was one point that night that me and Maya were talking about, and we were like sitting in a booth, and like Maya just like snuggled into my arms, and we were just like holding each other for like a solid, 5 minutes, and just like deep breathing. Oh, it was so good. So good for the soul.
Replenishing. It was like, I feel like you need, because when you're like going at a party, you're expending a lot of energy, and to actually take that time to just like reboot and like get nourished in your body and your soul, it was so special. I found
it was so special.
Jen has a way
the
of
power of touch.
Yeah.
Oh, COVID. It's gonna make me appreciate it more.
I'm gonna kiss all my friends.
I guess you have to start.
I made that post on Facebook, but I'm
yourself.
like, I am serious.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I think we gotta break down again. There's like that kind of social barrier of like touching people and like hugging people and like being really intimate with just friends, and especially with men. Men definitely have that problem more so than women. But
let's have an intimacy party when this is all over. Honestly, we can all just like be naked and like listen to really good music.
That's radical. I like that.
It is radical.
I'm down.
Radical. I feel like lots of like something that came up a lot during this quarantine is like uniting the two forces of masculine and feminine into more unity consciousness, like on the internal and also the external. I was pointed towards, like, I had an energy session put on me, or not done for me, and she like was specifically was like, hey, I'm feeling that there's some distrust in your masculine side. So I like laid down on my mat, my yoga mat at home, and I just like tuned into what that was, and I had an influx of memories stacked on each other of getting my ass slapped at a club, in high school, like having like being taken advantage of by the guys in my class, like all these times I've been like catcalled, or any time that there has been a distrusting interaction where I feel unsafe. They all stacked up in my memories, and I was just there, and I was going, oh, this is what this is. This is why I don't trust my masculine side. This is why I don't trust or have deep issues and distrust in the masculine energy in general. This is like, this is a real thing. And I just like laid there and like felt that processing come in, and went like, I looked up and I was like, can I forgive each of these people? Can I forgive myself? Can I forgive this scenario? Because in the end, it does not serve me to hold these. It does not serve me to hold the hatred or the anger. It serves me to forgive and like try to cultivate a different relationship with the masculine and different relationship. I want to be in union. I want to have a partner that I feel connected to on a sexual level, on an emotional level, and feel like trust. And I like, there's these few men that I know in my life that truly embody what I believe to be divine masculine. I feel safe around them. I don't feel threatened. I don't feel those, that distrust and that sort of thing, and just tuning into that frequency instead, and like moving through those things. Like I feel like that's a huge part of what's going on right now with Mother Earth and why COVID's going down, and like all these things.
Stop the patriarchy.
Our relationship with, and like the thing is like men gotta heal, like, and that intimacy thing that you were talking about of like men supporting each other, touching each other, getting through the conditioning within them that makes that not okay, and like being able to support and hold each other accountable. That healing process is really important, because that's like the foundation for how you interact with the feminine within you, and have.
No, I really like what you're saying, and I think it goes both ways. And there's a lot of men that don't trust their feminine side and don't trust the feminine, the females in their life, and I feel like there's a big distrust between the two sexes right now. And I'm not sure what kind of societal things have led to that. There's probably millions of reasons, but I think we're all kind of yearning for that coming back into fruition and coming back into balance, and realizing, I don't know if it's just me, but there is this kind of like notion out there that we don't need each other. I don't need no man, or I don't need no woman, or something. And to me, that's kind of like, it's almost kind of sad, because it's like we were meant for each other, like men and female, like we were meant to combine and create life, and like that is absolutely like extraordinary. So I think we have to learn to understand each other a lot better, and heal, like you said, heal our wounds and go into why we feel these things.
Oh man, and gender's so like such a triggering topic too. It's like it's like when you talk about stuff like this, it's like but then like this, there's like what I think that I would like to ascend into on like a global frequency is unity. Like, and I think about androgyny sometimes, and I like think about the androgynous frequency and go, that is like a blend, that is like a unity, and like the union in like sexual and non-sexual and like masculine and feminine. Like I think about like an ascended society would have the frequency of unity, but we have to go through like dealing with our deep wounds of separation and duality and marry those things.
Yeah, totally.
Go through what?
We have to like go through it together, hand in hand, and then that goes back to the whole trust thing. And so I feel like cultivating communities like such as what the three of us have right now, and just like kind of expanding like the circle around us to include more and more folks, hopefully like we can work on it together.
Yeah, I remember at that party, and also any party I've had at Jen's house, I've been to two, I specifically remember like the first time I was there, I went home and I went, wow, every I didn't feel threatened by a single masculine presence. I didn't feel taken advantage of. I didn't feel unsafe. I felt like I was with friends. Even when there was somebody interested in me, it still wasn't this weird, forced, I don't know how to interact with you, so I'm going to just slap myself in your sphere sort of vibe that I experienced out at a club or out at things like that. And I remember going home and just being so grateful and so thankful to have a community that I just joined of like, that presence, you know, like a certain amount of like respect and just like safety that was there. And just like, you know, if you want to interact with someone, there's a certain amount of just like respectful decorum to just like follow, like, I'm interested in you. And then, you know, dealing with any trigger if they're not interested in you, like a grown up.
Yeah.
Like a grown up. You're like, oh God, that hurt like a motherfucker.
But I respect you.
It'll be okay.
That's
like maybe like faith. Yeah. Faith that there's love for you, you know, somewhere.
And even until that happens.
Oh, sorry.
Even until like that intimate love happens, like leaning on it with like the people in your life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Everybody wants love.
Cut you guys off. Everyone wants love.
Everyone wants love.
Who wants to read this one?
In the confrontation between the stream and the rock, the stream always wins, not through strength, but through persistence. Uda.
Uda.
That makes me think of Geo the Slow.
Bring him out, bring him out. There he is.
That makes me think of Geo.
Geo.
I like to think of life like rowing a canoe. If you row the canoe like so fast, you're not gonna get anywhere. You're not gonna pick up any speed. You're just gonna fucking exhaust yourself.
I like that. If you
row in sync with the person in the front and you take your time, building up momentum, you know, building up speed, we get somewhere. We don't tire ourselves out.
Yeah.
I think like again that connects to like the spin of life.
The spin of life.
Yeah.
I think tuning into like right now it's important to tune into the natural rhythm. So nature's pace is the pace we're being asked to join right now. The intrinsic pace of our bodies and therefore nature around us. So like
how do we do that?
That's the pace. I recommend going outside without a phone.
Yes.
Don't leave your fucking phone at home. Wow, so blunt. I'm saying it to myself, but leave your phone at home and go for a walk. Try it. It's actually very, very hard the first couple times to leave your house without the phone. Keep it at home and just go bare. Just like I went for a walk, no keys, no wallet, no phone, no societal ties at all, just me and my clothes.
Jane Doeing it.
And I left, Jane Doeing it. And it was like, then you can really like hug some fucking trees, run if you want to, jump on the floor if you want to.
Jump in the river.
Lol. I would love to. It looks cold.
It is.
Have you recently jumped in the river, Andrew?
It's been about a week.
You jumped in this week?
Yeah, I'm crazy. Doing stupid things all the time.
Stupid. Whatever.
No,
you're safe. You're alive.
It's fun. It's fun. It
seems like you enjoyed it.
Oh, it definitely wakes you up. Wow. Next photo. It's perfect. So I have like 8 people that want to do this in the next like 5 days. Isn't that sick?
Good job. I love it, Andrew.
I'm glad you guys wanted to do this, and this is like the perfect first session. I was just like,
oh, we're the first. Wow.
Expressing. Well, yeah, I put it out yesterday. Yeah, no pressure. This is the first one.
I love it.
I love it too.
I love it.
But I got to get my technicalities down. Like, this is not switching.
Oh well. Maybe it's because there's something left to say. Oh wow, that one I get. That
you want
that
this
one? That one is so. I did not even realize. Like, it was so nice to realize on a collective level that everybody's doing that. Like, when a meme shows you something that you intrinsically know but didn't consciously know, hell yeah.
Do you think that's big? Do you think us do you think that's another distraction that we tend to get caught in, though? I think it is for myself personally. Music, if it's too much once in a while, it's very releasing. But overdone, it can be maybe draining. Personally.
And very much so an escape.
Depends on the song.
Methinks, but like in that sense, like the restarting it because it didn't hurt us enough. Like I've been noticing, at least for myself, and I think for a lot of folks in society, that like pain is comfortable, and just like being hurt is comfortable, and it's like our status quo. Almost that like that's the frequency we vibe at because everyone has so much pain in their life,
right? Yeah,
and it's scary to get out of that because that's what you've been living with for so long.
Yeah, I love melancholy.
Yeah.
I think melancholy is the sister to beauty.
But not even melancholy, just like pain and like hurt and like heartbreak. Melancholy is like a more calm and all-knowing version of that, I think. At least that's how it resonates with me. But like,
that's true.
I know for me, pain is comfortable, and like getting out of pain and painful situations, it's like I am naked. I don't know what to do now. Like, hurt me.
Let's go. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it's trapping us. Like too much music will cause too much low frequency music will cause us to kind of shut in, you know? And like you said, if you can get away from that pain and be vulnerable and be like, come at me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing enough music. I could have more. I need more because it's a much more, it's more easy to be in a creative mindset than a creative mindset when you're listening to music. Because my thing is I'll watch videos or I'll watch shows, and that is completely all-encompassing of my mind, brain, and experience, and I'm just in a consumption mode. Something about just hearing music leaves the rest of my resources available to get into a creative zone where I'm not just consuming. It's somehow the input and output is different than watching a show for me. So I find it a lot more healthy when I'm listening to music and when I'm using it to cultivate my frequency. So I'm putting on a specific jam to feel confident while I'm doing my dishes or to like put in a certain energy. When you're speaking specifically to like, I'm listening to this again because I need to feel that hurt, baby. Yeah. Like that one, that is just like, there's someone that I know that specifically listens to like just low frequency density music so that he can express that and address that ugly bit of his own psyche. I'm sure like too much of anything is too much, but he knows that it's like, that it's trash. It's a trashy experience, but he's letting that out and feeling it and like and doing it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely had stages in my life where I've done that as well, where it was just like, oh, that music was on and it was just, you know, like walls were coming down, like releasing like emotion coming out of my body like I've never felt, you know? Just whoa, like like crazy. So music has that power to do it for sure.
So does heartbreak.
Yeah.
Whereas anything, like this event right now has the power to do that. I find that myself. I'm just like, so much is running through my body, my mind. Like, it's like
I feel like I'm hunching over.
Ooh.
It's okay. We've been doing this for a while. Eh? We're 3:30. I got a few more slides, and then we can talk a bit more and maybe wrap it up in a bit. I think we did this one. Yeah. I like this one. You only lose what you cling to. And I think this is a very relatable kind of quote for a lot of people right now. Because it's like a lot of things are changing. A lot of plans that people had have been canceled and thrown into the dust. So it's like there's a lot of like collective suffering right now. So because we are clinging to these things and have a hard time letting them go, I believe.
Yeah, but then like I don't know what life would be like if you didn't cling to special things. I feel like the alternative is even worse.
Nihilism.
Yeah.
No, I think cling is a bad word. We don't want to cling to these things. We want to have these things to look forward to and whatnot, but we're indifferent to them, right? We realize that things are constantly in flux and impermanent, right? So if things do change, we just have to recenter ourselves and not act like this event was the pivotal thing. And a lot of times it can be. We can have so much like focus and desire with these things that when they do go away, it's like it seems like the world is ending. But I feel like a lot of times we just have to look to like all the other doors that will open when one door closes.
I feel like I'm just still in that space where clinging and like being codependent on a lot of things is very, very normal in my life. And so like I totally hear what you're saying, and I know that that's the goal, to get to that space, but I'm just not quite there yet.
Fuck yeah. Process.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I'm halfway in, halfway out. I have one foot in my Matrix life, which I'm very attached to, but I also deeply hate it. It's a very dual state to be hyper aware that I love my chain. I love my fake nails. I love my little accessories. I love everything about those things that are part of the matrixy material societal world. But I know deep down in my heart, there's a fresh life for me where I want to live off the grid in nature, just bongo drums and people. Like there is a certain amount of, I simultaneously want to let go of all material possessions and quit clinging to it, but I'm halfway in, halfway out. I'm scared of the liberation of losing my possessions.
Ooh. I don't think you have to let go of it all. Like you just have to reframe it in your mind so that if you were to lose it, you can enjoy what we have. We can enjoy all these beautiful relationships, material things. But we have to realize that, or maybe we should realize, maybe we don't have to, that things are in constant flux and changing. And it's okay to go from one thing right to the other. And it's
it's just
it's to see through the emotional reaction in the moment. You know, whenever you're triggered with something, fucking COVID comes and all your shit's canceled, you're just like, fuck you. But it's to see through that and be like, hey, well, now I have time to do this and relax.
Seeing those other doors open. Yeah,
maybe that's just wishful thinking, but
I feel like you're embodying it though, Andrew. Like I know that you had a big trip that was canceled, and yet here you are, like making the best of the situation.
I had a big trip canceled.
I thought you were going somewhere right away. No, I know you'd like just gotten back, but then I thought you were like, oh yeah, I'm going somewhere again shortly.
I'm always going somewhere.
Exactly.
I mean, of course, all plans were changed. My whole summer is different, but like, it's just like you just gotta just work with it.
Influx and temporary, depending on your perspective and what lens you have, can either be terrifying or liberating. You can choose.
I like that.
Yeah, you are in control of what you respond with.
And it's okay to respond either way. There's no good or bad. There's just choice. You just fucking do it. Whatever. There's nothing wrong with you.
There's nothing wrong with you. I agree.
Nothing wrong with you.
I just think if you look at it, it's like, do I want to suffer from this? Or do I just want to move on and move forward, right?
Is suffering do I just need to be in it and make a choice to be in it? Or do I move through it? I know that I'll eventually move through it. Like it's really just you get to decide and pick and choose what your fucking process is.
Yeah, it's so hard to hear though, because like suffering is so comfortable for me.
Man.
Yeah. You haven't suffered enough
though. Then. That's okay.
What did you say, Andrew?
I said, well, a lot of people that, I don't know, I find this in myself a lot too, is like there comes a point where you're just so sick and tired of suffering.
Yeah, I think I've been there.
Because you get addicted to it, and it's like, that you just don't want to feel that anymore. You want to be free from that. So to do that, you have to like let go of that clinging. And like, it's like, and just not hold on so tight and just like, I like to kind of visualize it as you're falling through the air and you're trying to, like you're jumped off a cliff, you're falling through the air and you're trying to grab the cliff. Like freaking dive, let yourself just fall through the air.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, everything you just said just cut out.
Oh, really?
At least for me. I don't know about you, Maya.
I heard it.
Okay. I saw this. Yeah, I hear you now. I saw this, and I assume it's like you're climbing out of the hole.
So I was talking
opposite.
About falling off a cliff and trying to grasp onto something to hold on to as you're falling. Instead of just like opening up.
All right.
There's like
I'm glad I clarified.
there's like a fine line between surrender to flow and agency and sovereignty and free will. There's a balance, because if you're going oscillating between one and the other too much and don't have that balance, it's not a fulfilling experience, in my opinion. Because like there's surrender and flow, but then there's also fucking free will and agency. Like you're co-creating your life with the universe. So having action, I think sometimes surrender can be an excuse for inaction, and I sometimes think action can be a distraction from surrender.
Whoa.
Yes. That's a big oof.
Someone write that down. Damn.
We have it on video.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're
right,
recording this.
Yeah, it's recording. I love that, Maya. That is a very good realization of the kind of dual aspects of it and just being above it and seeing it.
Do you want to hear some words?
Yes.
So this is like in the vein of like speaking of temporary and things kind of go into shit and not being in control. Oh, we can do this first though.
Oh no, please.
There you go. I was so angry when I wrote this. I was so angry.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Me too.
All I've built is just dust anyways. All I am is just dust anyways. All that is crumbles eventually. I just want to burn every piece of me away. Burn my skin, my cells, my fibers, my ego, dreams, fears, hopes, control, love, pain, story. I want to burn it all to dust. Only left with the rawest, most uncompromising truth. So how? How do I set myself on fire? How do I burn it all to dust? Or is how just another example of my control? I'm enraged that the only thing I'm certain of is death. My only constant, my deepest truth, I will die. This is all I know without a shadow of a doubt. I'm so afraid of something going wrong that I refuse to let anything happen at all. I control the outcome. I am the fucking master, and I'm miserable. Without luster, without risk, steeped in fear, paralyzed in my control. I don't want this anymore, any of it. And yet, I want to be wrapped in silks, feathers, and furs, admired and ogled, worshipped and praised. I love and hate this game. My half-baked awakening is enough to feel that something is wrong. Stagnancy and staleness permeate like a fog. But I'm safe in this stillness, my control explains. If you make this change, we'll have to rearrange. What if you take that trip and have nowhere to go? No one to know, get lost in the snow, become a hobo, lose your luxury? Never. That's scary. Stay here. What if you suffer at the hands of the unknown? What if you die, never finding home? Then I die, I guess. I was already signed up since the first breath. Let's let it crumble then, crumble to dust, give in to wanderlust, surrender and trust. Let things fall apart, wander blindly through the dark. We need safety and excitement. I need enlightenment. I need fun, I need play, I need to say fuck it every day.
That is amazing.
Wow. Wow.
Very good.
Wow. Can you put that in writing and share it with me? Because I want that all over my walls.
Cool. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maya, that was powerful.
Thanks for listening. Control has been a big thing.
I resonate very much so with that word.
Control.
Yeah.
There's just choice, no control.
That was so good.
Thanks.
Thanks, Maya.
Thank you.
It was good to listen. Cool. We should do a couple more of these. I'll read a couple. This is the last one, actually. I think. I don't know.
Let's do it. I like this person.
How do you pronounce that?
Great question.
Nat Han. I'm probably poor guy. Okay.
Fuck it.
Okay. Actually, Maya, you read this one.
Okay. We need suffering in order to see the path, the origin of suffering, the cessation of suffering. and the path leading to the cessation of suffering are all found in the heart of suffering. If we are afraid to touch our suffering, we will not be able to realize the path of peace, joy, and liberation. Don't run away. Touch your suffering and embrace it. Make peace with it. That feels like feeding your demons like a friend, like sitting your demons or your shadow down at a dinner table and envisioning cutting off your arm and feeding it to the demon and treating your shadow like a friend, talking to it the way that you would talk to a loved one, because it is a loved one. Inside the shadow, there is a lesson, there is light, there's a reason it's there. It's guarding the door to enlightenment, and I'm just scared of it because I don't know what it is, and it's scared of me because I keep treating it like an enemy.
Ooh.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, resisting.
That was just some slam poetry there, Maya.
Slam.
Wow.
That's not me. I'm not those thoughts, those feelings.
That's such a good way to put it, Maya.
Thank you.
Just that, yeah, we're scared of each other, and it's just that constant battle. And I think that connects back to like sitting.
It goes back to this, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, this has been beautiful, you two.
This has been.
This has been a cathartic release of energy and feelings and emotions.
I love you.
I love you too.
Love you guys.
Is this the end?
It's only the beginning.
Ooh.
Okay.
So excited for the rest of the series. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for facilitating. I've always wanted to have something like this happen, so I'm so grateful for
We'll
being
definitely
invited.
do this again. This doesn't have to be the last time.
Yeah.
We can bring different people on. We can have different conversations, different topics.
Vulnerability
we could dance,
party.
we could sing. We could be like.
Oh, I would dance. I would do some dance. Dance party?
I'd dance.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a great day, and I'm gonna just stop this recording.